Greater Oceania including Australia, New Zealand and Indonesia, by Abhishek Jonathan, Ahmed, Salisha, Sukhpreet and Kanchan. In this video, we are going to cover the general overview of all three countries, and then go into detail about each country starting from Australia. Australia is the sixth largest country in the world by land area. It comprises the mainland of the Australian continent, Tasmania Island, and numerous smaller islands. The capital city is Canberra, located in the Australian Capital Territory. New Zealand is an island country in the southwestern Pacific Ocean. It consists of two main landmasses, the North Island and the South Island, and over 700 smaller islands. It is the sixth largest island country by area and lies east of Australia. Indonesia, located in Southeast Asia, is the world's largest archipelago, comprising more than 17,000 islands, with around 6,000 of them inhabited. Indonesia is the world's largest island country and the 14th largest country by area. Population: Australia. 2023 population is estimated at 26,439, 111 people at mid-year. Australia's population is equivalent to 0.33% of the total world population. New Zealand has a relatively small population compared to its landmass, with around 5 million people. With over 270 million people, Indonesia is the fourth most populous country globally. The diagrams here shows the population distribution of each individual country. Trade statistics of Australia. Australia's trade balance on goods and services was a surplus of $158,173 million in the 2022-23 financial year. Total goods and services exports rose $93,689 million to $686,041 million. Total goods and services imports rose $81,171 million to $527,168 million. Top two exports are mineral fuel and ores, slag and ash, while the top two imports are mineral fuels and machinery. Top five trading partners are China, USA, Japan, South Korea, and UK. Trade history with US. In the 18th and 19th centuries, trade between the American colonies, later the United States, and Australia, was limited, but did exist. After World War II, trade relations between the United States and Australia began to expand significantly. In 1953, the United States and Australia signed the Australia-United States Free Trade Agreement. This agreement aimed to promote trade and investment between the two countries by reducing tariffs and other barriers to trade. Both countries have continued to explore opportunities to enhance bilateral trade and economic cooperation. Impact of treaties. General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. Australia was a founding member of GATT, established in 1948. World Trade Organization. The WTO replaced GATT in 1995 and serves as the global body for regulating international trade. Australia is a member of the WTO and actively participates in its activities. International Monetary Fund. Australia has engaged with the IMF on various occasions, particularly during times of economic crises or when seeking policy advice. Free trade agreements. FTAs can have significant impacts on Australia's trade patterns, industries, and relationships with trading partners. Transportation, infrastructure. Australia has a vast network of roads, including highways, freeways, and local roads, spanning across the continent. The Australian rail network includes long-distance passenger trains like the Indian Pacific and the Ghan, as well as urban commuter rail services in cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide. Australia has a well-developed aviation industry, with numerous domestic and international airports serving major cities and regional centres. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide have the busiest airports in terms of passenger traffic. Australia has several major ports along its coastline. On the right, we have the maps clearly showing the rail and road network. Communication systems in Australia. Australia has a robust telecommunications network that provides services such as landline telephony, mobile telephony, and internet access. Internet penetration in Australia is high, with a significant portion of the population having access to broadband internet services. Australia has a diverse broadcasting landscape, with both public and commercial broadcasters providing television and radio services. The infographical image explains that 80.1% of Australia's population is using internet, and the top 5 websites they use are Facebook, YouTube, Live.com, Yahoo, and 9MSN. Top marketing research services are Ipsos, Nielsen, Roy Morgan, and Kantar. Top advertising agencies are Clemenger BBDO, DDB Australia, Ogilvy Australia, and M&C Saatchi. Top retail outlets are Woolworths, Coles, JB Hi-Fi, and Bunnings Warehouse. Trade statistics of New Zealand. New Zealand's two-way trade value now sits at $197.0 billion, growing by 21% year-on-year. Total exports, goods and services, grew by 16% to $89.9 billion, while total imports grew by 25% to $107.1 billion. Trade history with U.S. Trade relations between New Zealand and the United States date back to the 19th century, primarily revolving around agricultural products such as wool, meat, and dairy. The trade balance between New Zealand and the United States has fluctuated over time, with periods of trade surpluses and deficits. Factors such as currency exchange rates, global demand for commodities, and changes in trade policies can influence the trade balance. Impact of treaties in New Zealand. New Zealand is a member of the WTO, which sets rules for international trade and provides a forum for negotiating trade agreements and resolving disputes. International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank Group, WBG. While not primarily trade organizations, the IMF and WBG play important roles in providing financial assistance, technical support, and policy advice to countries, including New Zealand, to promote economic stability, growth, and development. Transportation. New Zealand has an extensive road network, with roads ranging from multi-lane highways to narrow rural roads. New Zealand has several domestic and international airports, with Auckland Airport being the busiest and largest. KiwiRail operates freight services throughout the country, transporting goods such as dairy products, timber, and minerals. Ports play a crucial role in New Zealand's trade, handling imports and exports of goods. We have the maps clearly showing the rail and road network. Telecommunications. New Zealand has a modern telecommunications infrastructure, with widespread coverage of landline and mobile phone services. Major telecommunications providers, such as Spark, Vodafone, and 2degrees, offer a range of telecommunications services. Internet is accessible through digital subscriber line, DSL, fiber optic, cable, and wireless technologies, with increasing focus on expanding high-speed fiber optic networks. Satellite communication plays a vital role in providing connectivity to remote and rural areas of New Zealand, where traditional landline and mobile networks may be limited. Broadcasting. Television New Zealand, TVNZ, is the state-owned broadcaster, operating several channels offering news, entertainment, and educational programming. The bar chart shows us the people using internet segregated in age groups. Marketing research services are Colmer Brunton, UMR Research and Perceptive Research. Advertising agencies are FCB, DDB, Saatchi and Saatchi New Zealand, and Y&R retail outlets are The Warehouse, Countdown, Farmers and Mitre 10. Trade statistics of Indonesia. Indonesia had a total export of $231 million in thousands of US dollars and total imports of $196 million in thousands of US dollars, leading to a positive trade balance of $35.3 million in thousands of US dollars. The trade growth is 18.65% compared to a world growth of 12.59%. Indonesia's top 2 imports are mineral fuels and oils and machinery. Top 2 exports are mineral fuels and animal and vegetable fats and oils, and the major trading partners are China, Japan, United States, India, and Singapore. Trade between Indonesia and the United States dates back to the early 19th century when American merchants began trading goods such as textiles, machinery, and firearms with the Dutch East Indies, which later became part of Indonesia. Bilateral trade between Indonesia and the United States has grown substantially over the years. In addition to trade in goods, there is also significant investment between Indonesia and the United States. American companies have invested in various sectors in Indonesia, including energy, mining, manufacturing, telecommunications, and finance. While trade relations between Indonesia and the United States have grown, there have been challenges related to trade barriers, intellectual property rights, and regulatory issues. Impact of treaties in Indonesia. Indonesia became a member of the WTO in 1995 and has since been an active participant in WTO negotiations and agreements. GATT was the predecessor to the WTO and laid the foundation for international trade rules and negotiations. Indonesia has engaged with the IMF in various capacities, including seeking financial assistance during times of economic crisis. IMF programs have influenced Indonesia's macroeconomic policies, fiscal reforms, monetary policies, and structural adjustments aimed at stabilizing the economy and promoting growth. Indonesia has been a recipient of World Bank loans, grants, and technical assistance for development projects in areas such as infrastructure, education, health, and poverty reduction. Indonesia is a member of several regional trade agreements, including the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN Free Trade Area, AFTA, and the ASEAN Economic Community, AES. Transportation, infrastructure of Indonesia. Indonesia has an extensive road network, with national highways connecting major cities and regions across the islands. Railways. Indonesia has both passenger and freight railway services operated by the state-owned company, PT Kereta Api Indonesia, KAI. The railway network primarily serves Java and Sumatra, with plans for expansion to other islands. Air transport. Indonesia has numerous airports, including international airports in major cities like Jakarta, Soekarno-Hatta International Airport, Bali, Ngurah Rai International Airport, and Surabaya, Juanda International Airport. We have the maps clearly showing the rail and road network. Communication systems in Indonesia. Major telecommunications providers include Telkom Indonesia, Telkom, Indosat Ooredoo, XL Axiata, and Smartfren Telecom. Broadband internet services are available through various technologies, including digital subscriber line, DSL, fiber optic, cable, and wireless, 3G, 4G, and 5G networks. Televisi Republik Indonesia, TVRI, is the state-owned broadcaster, offering national and regional television channels. Private broadcasters, such as MNC Group, RCTI, Transmedia, and SCTV, provide additional television channels offering news, entertainment, and educational programming. Here are the main reasons for the usage of internet in Indonesia. Indonesia's marketing research services are MarkPlus, Millward Brown, and Indobarometer. Advertising agencies are JWT, Low Indonesia, Dentsu, and MullenLowe. Retail outlets are Matahari Department Store, Transmart Carrefour, Indomaret, and Watsons Indonesia. Here are the references of the information provided in the video.